continue tonight. We now know the identity of a 15-year-old girl murdered in West Philadelphia.
That victim was stabbed more than 50 times and her body was set on fire.
Alexandria Hoff is at police headquarters now with more on the investigation. Alex.
Well, Yuki, Nicole, it was originally thought that the victim in this case was in her early 20s, but it turns out that Sabria McLean of Newcastle County, Delaware, had just recently turned 15. It was an interaction through social media on Monday, according to police, that drew Sabria McLean to an apartment near the 4900 block of Spruce Street to meet 23-year-old Cole Herring. Inside of that apartment, police say that for an unknown reason, Herring stabbed the 15-year-old over 50 times, then dragged her body to an alley outside, set her on fire, and attempted to conceal her body with leaves. I had been told from some neighbors that there was a fire alarm that had gone off Monday evening. Do you think that could have been part of it?
That's tied into this case.
Though fire officials arrived to the scene Monday evening, McLean's body was not discovered in the alley until the next day. Authorities say that Herring told his parents, who live in the complex, about the murder and that they assisted in turning him in. Police say that McLean did have ties to Philadelphia, but it's unclear how she got here from Newcastle County. She had been reported missing by her parents.
To all the young people that want to go run the streets with strangers and stuff through social media, it's a very dangerous world out there. You don't know who you're going to meet. It's definitely not safe for yourself. It's not certainly recommended, and sometimes can have tragic consequences.
Herring has been charged with this crime, and we are told that he did have prior encounters with police. But again, the motive for this killing is still unknown. Reporting live from police headquarters, Alexandria Hoff, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Alex, thank you for that.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now, this video right here comes straight out of West Philadelphia, where we have a 15-year-old girl who meets a guy online in Facebook. Like, that's strange these days because you have a lot of people meeting on these internet platforms. Well, she met this 23-year-old guy, and she went to go see the guy. All of a sudden, she comes up dead and also burned to death and stabbed over 50 times. Now, what can make a person stab somebody 50-some times, then set them on fire is very crazy to me. I mean, what possessed this young man to do what he done remains to be the question. And it's very sad that you have a 15-year-old meeting a grown man. And why would a grown man be interested in a 15-year-old? And why would a 15-year-old be interested in a grown man? And this is why it's important for parents to tell their children what's right. Stop letting your daughters and your sons dating people that's way older than them, number one. Because she's considered a child still, a kid, teenager. He's considered an adult. No matter how you all want to say the age difference or whatever. But I'm going to read a snippet from this story and I will give my opinion as we go. A 23-year-old man has been arrested for stabbing a 15-year-old girl to death and then trying to hide the crime by setting her body on fire in a West Philadelphia alley. Police said Cole Herring met his victim, Sabria McLean, on Facebook. The two met face-to-face for the first time on Monday when the Newcastle, Delaware, made the 40-mile journey up to West Philadelphia to visit Herring at his parents' house. She had been reported missing at the time. Now, how did this 15-year-old girl get from Newcastle, Delaware, all the way 40 miles to West Philadelphia? Like who brung her over there? Because I'm sure she didn't drive herself. Didn't notice she was already reported missing, so she ran away from home to go be with this guy. And this is what we hear a lot about, especially in this country, is the fact that you have a lot of runaways, and a lot of these people think these people are have been abducted or some kind of slave trade, sex trade, or organ harvesting, if you will. But, you have very few cases that some of these people are willing participants, whether she's a kid or not, they leave on their own, and it's very sad. And I can imagine how her parents feel, because I'm sure they tried to keep her in line, and it's probably wasn't her first time being very rebellious. And this is what being rebellious gets you. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, and I'm sorry that the young female lost her life, but at the same time, she should have stayed in a child's place. She should have stayed in a girl's place. And that was in school, doing what you have to do instead of chasing behind some grown man who lives 40 miles from you. And this is what happened when you try to put on, a pair of shoes that are just too big for you. Things are going to happen. You play a stupid game, you're going to get a stupid prize. Now, it was during this visit that police say the older man stabbed McClain more than 50 times. Now, what could make this man do that? I don't know. But like I tell you, people, it's a lot of demon spirit possession going on. And if your spirit is not strong enough, anything can get inside of you. So you can't say what you won't do if you ain't already been tested. See, you should know your boundaries and your limits. But like I say, you know, this is a very frequent thing that we are seeing in this country. Now, he then tried to conceal her body by taking it to an alley behind his parents' house and setting it on fire, as if stabbing her 50 times wasn't good enough. So what he trying to make sure the body wasn't recognizable? You know, have you ever heard they do dental records? I mean, I don't understand what got through this young man's mind, but evidently he was not thinking too clearly. He ran into trouble when the smoke from the blaze set off a fire alarm in a home, and firefighters responded to the scene. But he was able to conceal the girl's body by throwing leaves over it and sent the firefighters away. Herron parents were out of the house at the time of the murder. But when they returned that night, he reportedly confessed what he had done, because trust me, when the investigators dig deep into these cases, what they're going to do is go back and check her internet records and see what social media sites she's been visiting, who she's been talking to. And Facebook has all this stuff documented and logged in, from everything from what is taking place, the description, and also the time of these incidents, whether you were contacting the person or whether you sending somebody a picture or whether you're cussing them out. Trust me, they log everything in that you do on the internet. No matter if you was to type something in and erase it, it's still there. Just because you didn't push enter and search, you know, it's still there. You'll be amazed how these computers really work, you know. So quite naturally, you know, he figured that he was shocked. I mean, not shocked. He figured that he was going to get caught, and that the cookie trail, the crumb trail, will eventually lead back to him, you know, because he's been the main one talking to this female. But like I said, why was a 23-year-old talking to a young girl? And why was this young girl engaging in conversations leading up to sexual activities with this grown man? And this is the price you pay when you be hard-headed. You know, I'm sorry she lost her life, like I said earlier, but at the same time, this is a lesson for a lot of other people. Sometimes, you know, the Most High will allow things to happen just to set example and show other people this is not the road that you need to be taking, you know. So I'm not trying to say that it was right for her to die, because it's very wrong. She got murdered, whether she was hard-headed or not, but it's still a lesson that should be learned out this whole situation. That is, stay in a child's place. Young men, you stay in y'all place too. You have no business conversating with somebody who's probably just now a sophomore in high school. Now, they took him to a nearby police station the next morning. When investigators came back to the scene, they found McClain's body and immediately arrested Herron on charges of murder, arson, and abuse of a corpse. They still don't have a motive for the crime yet. They still don't know the reason why he done it. He done it to cover up his trail, because guess what? He can get a rape charge. He can get all kinds of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, all kinds of felonies. But still, that right there still doesn't add up or equal to murder. See, when he committed this murder and then the arson, mutilating the body, he pretty much set himself, you know, and he pretty much set himself up for the kill right there. Because how are you going to come back from that? You know, and you know, and I don't know if he was sorry for what he done and then realized, well, you know, I made a huge mistake. Let me try to burn the body up and cover the body up. But like I said, his reason to me for confessing to his parents was knowing that it was going to eventually lead back to him. So I guess he figured, oh, what the hell, what I got to lose now? Now, because McClain's murder was so violent, police are now working to see if Herron was connected to any other crimes. It was a very violent act, so we are looking at him in connection to some other possible cases that we've had, Captain Jack Ryan told 6ABC. Herron already has a criminal history. In 2013, he was sentenced to 2 to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to robbery by threat of immediate serious injury. He was facing another felony robbery case, but was thrown out in August when a witness failed to appear in court. So here's a guy who got all kinds of violent charges. And when you have these violent charges, they do look at you very differently than they would with somebody else, because you're considered a violent suspect, you know, and they treat violent cases way different than they do non-violent, especially anything dealing with robbery and things of that nature. But you know, this is a good reason why you all should stay on your kids' ass. You know, I can't emphasize that enough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, try to make it sound sweet. Stay on their ass, your boys and girls, because you got guys out here raping and killing boys too, just like they would girls. You know, you got some sick people out here, and a demon don't care who they get or who they destroy. That's what you have to remember also. But it's sad that this young female, 15 years old, had a whole life ahead of her, decided to run away from home. Parents reported her missing, all just to go be with a guy, and this guy ended up taking her life. Instead of just letting this woman go, instead of not even fooling with her, but instead of letting this young female go, decides to kill her, stab her to death, burn her up, and then just discard her body outside like she was just a piece of trash. And that's the lesson that should be learned. What do a 15-year-old and a 23-year-old have in common? They have anything in common, you know. And you know, I don't know what they're going to do in Philly about this. Some of you all from Philly can chime in and let me know. But if that was Texas and he did that, you know, he could be facing a death penalty, or even California. You know, Cali and Texas do not play with these type of charges right here. But let me know what you all think about this situation also. And if you done had some experience of your child running away, you don't have to put all your information out there, what's her name or whatever. But what would you have done if that was your child and she was able to come back if she didn't die? You know, like if you had your children get mad, you leave the house, they gone, they might go lay up with a guy, or they might go stay at a friend's house or whoever, or just be rebellious and you don't know where the hell they at. And what would you do if your child came back? And how would you prevent them from even having to do this, even though you can't stop everything? But I'm sure, you know, if they would have paid closer attention and monitor what their child is doing, you know, a lot of this could have been prevented. Because I guarantee you, if you parents go check your children's Facebook page and these Instagrams, you'll be amazed. You probably have a stroke and you see all the nasty, freaky things your children are doing. But they walk around and parade around like they're so innocent angels. No, they're not, because it's a total different day and age. You know, it's not like it was 10, 20 years ago, where you have all this social media and everybody just, you know, direct link contact. You know, it's no more phones where you just get on the phone and talk sexual. You know, now you can see pictures, video chat, and all that. But let me know what you all think about this situation right here. And it's sad that Sabria lost her life, and you know, I hate to say, you know, rest in peace, because it's hard to rest in peace after getting killed like that. But you know, I hope she finds peace in the afterlife, and I hope that the Most High forgive her. You know, and it's sad what happened. It's sad what happened to her. But this guy, you know, he need to really get his issue, because he has a history of being very violent, you know, and just need to put a stop to it. But anyway, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you like, subscribe, definitely share the video. Till next time, y'all stay blessed, stay woke, stay vigilant. I'm out.